I think it's really important at this point to talk about this because it's easy to embrace beginner's mind when you are a beginner. But when you're not quite a beginner, this becomes a little bit more of a challenge. Of course, you have your ego and all of that we talked about. But also, you do know things. You do have a base of experience and knowledge, and you can trust in a lot of that. And embracing a beginner's mind doesn't mean that you suddenly don't know anything, that you know nothing, that it's all crap. It means staying open and present enough to learn what is presenting itself to you now. Yeah, because there are many things to learn. Like they always say, new level, new devil, right? There are things that you could have never imagined you'd be learning now, and not just the cool, fun stuff, but different contexts to what you know, different aspects. I mean, the learning never ends, right?
Right.
Every single ride, we immediately share, the horse was like this happened, I discovered this, and I realized this, and I every single ride, for a lifetime.
And as you're moving up the levels, I always found that beginner's mind also means re-examining what you think you know. Like, once you reach a certain level and you think, well, of course I can ride a 20-meter circle. Of course I can do a walk trot transition. Of course I can do this and that and the other. But do I really? Like, would I score a 10 on this 20-meter circle and this walk trot transition, trot halt position? And then, well, let's look at that. Let's write a few and let's see, is it perfect? Or are there inaccuracies?
Or are there things that I didn't realize I didn't know about this?
Very often when you run into problems with the more advanced movement, especially the half pass, especially the flying chain, the reason is that you missed something in the basics, or you got a little bit sloppy in certain things, took certain things for granted. It's like, yeah, this is boring. Let's get to the good stuff already. I always keep coming back to very simple things, and especially also with the upper level horses. And I spend time going just straight, old school, single track, and make my trot or canter into a string of pearls. Like if you buy a high quality string of pearls, they're all identical. Each pearl, same size, same diameter, same shine, same polish. Everything is the same. Can you ride around the arena in the walk or the trot or the canter, what every stride is exactly like the one before and the one after. Same tempo, same stride length, same roundness, same softness, same contact, same everything. And that's actually difficult, right? Kobe Corker said that the most difficult thing you can do is ride around the arena. With that in mind, what I said, this is every stride exactly identical to the one before and the one after. And it's funny because in a way, you as a beginner, you begin, with right old school and 20-meter circles. And you could say that when you can do this with the utmost perfection, then you're a finished rider with a finished horse. Then you've attained the highest level. And you jump through all the hoops of all these fancy movements we do just to be able to ride walk, trot, canter on the bit through the back with this incredible regularity in all three gates, both directions. So you always have to keep coming back. I mean, it's fun to do all the wild and crazy exercises and to get all acrobatic and so on. But then you always have to come back to simple elegance, and there's this beauty in the simplicity. And in the canter, when you work on flying changes, you have to be able to ride a dead straight line that you only see two legs from the front of the back. And the horse is completely round and through and supple and uphill like a big bouncy ball. And then when you can do that, then you can go flying changes, no big deal. And for the half pass, same thing with the trot or the canter. You have to be able to ride straight with an incredible regularity in the trot or the canter, so you can do trot or canter half passes. So it's always good to go back to the super simple things to evaluate where are we missing something, where did we get sloppy, where is a hard spot where there's a gap, in the transmission of forces of energy. And then you can work on that, fix it. You can use exercises to fix that, but then go back to very straight, very simple, see if it's better. And then when you feel like, okay, now this feels really good, now let's ride our best half fast. And Mikota actually did stuff like that in lessons. They would do all these whirlwind, crazy exercises, and then out of the blue, he would say, now ride your best half pass. And for him, that was just a test to see what have we achieved with all the turns on the forehand and the shoulder in and the transitions and all the other crazy stuff that he did. And it always looked like it had absolutely nothing to do with the half pass whatsoever. But then the half pass brought it all together, and it's like, oh wow, look at that! He's never done such a good half pass. So half passes don't necessarily improve by riding 100 half passes, but they improve by improving the basics: bending, turning, sidestepping, regularity, tempo, straightness, balance, suppleness, and so on. So for me, it's always this back and forth. Train up the levels, more complicated stuff, and back down to super basic. And then work up to the more sophisticated stuff and back down to basics all the time, even with the most advanced sources.
But each time you're reviewing the basics at new level.
Yeah, exactly.
New level of precision and conscious.
And by the time you're an FEI rider and you work on 20-meter circles, it's going to look different than in your first year of riding or when you were a beginner, right? And it's going to be a much more beautiful 20-meter circle. It will be gymnastically much more beneficial than it was way back when. But you still learn something from these super basic things. You still learn connections, cause and effect, and how the different body parts work together, and how one thing leads to another, and how one thing influences everything else. So it's interesting. I find it interesting.